How do you feel when a joke doesn't land and then you say, we all didn't like that one? Like, how do you feel about that strategy of comedians?
Okay, let me just say, yeah, it feels like then I think people are kind of shamed into giving it I carry with me my husband who lets me know all the time when a joke fails.
Yeah,
he'll walk away and he goes, you keep shopping.
Keep trying to make it work.
You keep shopping that, Jennifer. I'm just going to let you know that will never be funny. And I'm like, I'm going to try it one more time. I remember when we got married for a while, I go, did you ever plan to marry someone who was funny? Was that like a thing? He goes, no, I thought I would be the funny one. I was like, yeah, you are the funny one. Yeah. But I will say this, people who know Andy and I at the beginning, they love me. They're like, she's so funny. She's so outgoing. 2 years in, at some point, everyone, including my parents, prefer Andy. I don't know how it happens, but eventually everyone turns to be Team Andy. It's the craziest thing. I also don't think Andy is as motivated as I am all the time to make people laugh. Like my goal is
he finds his value in the Lord, not in the applause of man.
So he's just more Christian than you.
He's content with himself in the Lord. I think if I have more than a 2-minute interaction with someone, my goal is to make them laugh twice.
Yeah.
That's a good goal. That's wrong. I don't think that's wrong.
It's a good goal.
So I don't think that's in his goal bank.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to get started.
I guess.
Probably.
We have our guest here. And
but y'all both have jobs to get to. Like,
we do have things to do today.
Got kids to take care of.
All right, let's roll.
Hello, and welcome to the Almost Amazing podcast from the CityRise Network. Hosted by Jennifer Dennis and produced by me, Justin Kello. We're a podcast that was supposed to be focused on parenting, but we've kind of lost the plot along the way. Honestly, we don't know what this podcast is about, but we talk to incredible people who love Jesus, and our hope is to provide encouragement and fun whenever possible. If our lack of clear direction bothers you, we apologize, but no one is making you listen to this podcast, unless you're married to Jennifer. Andy, thanks for listening.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Almost Amazing podcast. We're excited to have you here today. Oh, my goodness, Justin. It's good to see you. Look at you in your sky blue shirt today.
Yes.
With some cloud coverage.
Well, I realized I have 3 shirts I wear on the podcast, so I haven't worn this one in a while, so I pulled it out.
You literally wear it.
Well, here's the truth. I was in that boot for so long, I was wearing shorts to work.
Right.
And so I was like, I can't wear a t-shirt and shorts to work. But I feel like now that I'm back in pants, a t-shirt passes.
I didn't know you were wearing short sleeve button downs.
So yes, because I had to wear shorts. So I was like, okay, well, now that I'm back in pants, maybe I can wear t-shirts again.
Is this in response to my husband's comment that we're our So Andy sends Justin and me a message, which is pretty rare. And it says, you guys are my favorite weather Christian comedy podcast.
Yeah. This does look like clouds.
So this looks like we're really, and the weather is beautiful today.
It is.
So that's our weather check mark.
It is.
Let me say that if you're in November and it's 90 degrees, just know
it's tough.
I'm irritable.
It's tough.
Because I need a holiday feel.
Yeah.
I don't know how people in other parts of the world where it never gets chilly around Christmas. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah. I will say, I get on the soapbox every year, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. But November 1st.
Oh, here we go.
November 1st.
Here we go.
I was in HEB and they were playing exclusively Christmas songs.
Oh, just
to me, that feel like if it's in your home, do whatever makes you happy.
Can we just be clear that HEB can do no wrong?
I mean, go
against anyone else, but I feel like HEB does nothing wrong.
That's a full 1/6 of our year devoted to that.
I know we are also I know we're also on the border of becoming an Apple podcast because I like to talk about apples and stuff. Yeah. But their Honeycrisp apples there are like next level.
They got great apples if you pick them. When you order online, they don't pick them right.
I will. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, they don't know how to do it. They just toss.
You have to go pick them yourself. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. This is what I'm noticing. A trend is that people are now decorating for Christmas the day after Halloween. They've got the bins out. They're like, let's just flip it.
I don't judge personal choice. If it's your home, it makes you happy. Please do whatever makes you happy.
Of course.
I don't like being subjected to it so early by like corporations.
I totally understand. But it may have been in my comment on the HEB website that it said maybe you guys could start this November 1st.
I saw someone
wrap it up after January.
I saw someone make a point too. They're like, it's not so much that we don't like the Christmas commercials. It's just we know you're not going to make a new one halfway through the season. Yeah, so we have to see the same one for 2 months.
We know we're stuck with this for the next 3 months.
Once you see it's like, November, I'm going to see this on Hulu 800 more
It's
times.
true. It's true. It's
That's
so
tough.
true. Justin, are you going to eat a turkey at Thanksgiving this year? I know this is probably a later podcast that we'll talk about this. But
Not a turkey person.
okay, I'm not a
I'm a
turkey
ham
person
person
either.
I'm all in the ham.
Well, I'm going to have Thanksgiving with some friends this year, and I think they've got a smoker. So that's
Yeah.
the thought of that is kind of
I mean, we
exciting.
have turkey at our gathering, but I just don't care for it.
Does it make you
Honestly, I
sleepy?
could have a plate of sides. Like, I don't even care about the meat at that
I could
point.
be a sides person too.
Like, to me, sides are the star of the show.
I will say though, ham.
You're not a ham person either?
I'm a ham person.
Oh, I'm a ham person too. Yeah.
So Andy, when I was pregnant with Olivia and I went to Thanksgiving to see my parents, I don't know how to explain this, but I was craving ham. I could
Okay.
not get enough ham.
Beautiful.
And I love ham sandwiches with just classic ham, mayo,
Yeah.
white bread.
Yep.
To all you wheat people. And I remember one morning I go in there to kiss Andy good morning. He goes, you already smell like ham.
You started the day smelling
You
like
already
ham.
smell like ham.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm in on ham.
That's incredible.
Honey baked spiral,
That's incredible.
extra glaze.
Wow.
It's a classic.
I love
But this is not even our Thanksgiving podcast. So I
No.
want to get back in time.
I mean, it might be. It might be close to Thanksgiving or already.
Thanksgiving is like
We're-
November 38th.
Yeah.
It's so late in the month.
It's true.
It's like way late, and it's not
It's-
going to give us but like 30 minutes to shop for
Yeah.
Christmas.
I know. It's a real bummer.
Okay, let me ask you this. We're really just getting too personal about ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Our washer and dryer is out. Have I told you this?
No.
So here's the truth. And I can't believe I'm saying this on the podcast. Our washer and dryer has been out since August. And so
you're waiting for like Black Friday deals or something?
Yes.
Oh.
we're going to wait till Black Friday. We should have already replaced it. We have some money set aside, but there's just so much rigmarole.
Yeah.
You got to go find one.
Well, you got to get rid of the giant garbage
gotta
in your house now. Like
Well,
you've got two huge things you
it
got to get
turns
rid
out
of.
they will pick it up.
Oh, okay.
And then you've got to like measure the area, make sure that it'll fit the space. So it's like none of these parts working together. And
Mhm.
Andy's traveled a lot. I've had a lot of events. So we have a like a little card to our local washateria. We're
Cute.
literally going to a laundromat.
That's a lot of work.
It feels like an 80s sitcom.
Yeah, like college.
Yes. It's been, but let me just say this. It's expensive now.
Yeah.
Justin.
You've spent all your savings for the washer and dryer on your like coins.
Right. It's not cost effective.
Right.
Do you know how much it is to wash a load of clothes now?
You're talking
At
about
the
wash and
laundromat.
dry or just wash?
No, at the laundromat, just wash a load of clothes.
Please don't say $3.
You ready?
Yeah.
$6.75. $6.70.
That's wild.
That is wild. I mean, well, let me say.
Can you do it all in one
You could
wash?
wash
Is it
a
big?
giant bear.
Is it big? Yeah, they're big.
It's giant.
They are
So
big.
sometimes I'll jump in.
Yeah, get a little clean.
Get a little clean. But it's so funny because some people get overwhelmed with laundry.
Yeah.
It is like, look, if you got a truck, just throw it all in your flatbed and get some dollar bags from Marshall's and you
Mhm.
go to the laundromat and you're done in an hour and a half.
But
with
the
all your
but the
laundry.
journey, the back and forth.
I will say the back and the forth is a complete whip.
Yeah.
A whip.
Yeah.
And then you get there and hopefully, I will say, if you guys are wondering where people are if they're not at church on Sunday,
Yeah.
they're at the laundromat.
Really? Laundry
it is
day.
packed.
I believe it.
It is packed.
I believe it.
And so we've found other times to go. We
Mhm.
just jump in, throw in a load.
Yeah.
I think Andy's getting to where he's dropping his laundry off.
I used to
now.
use a laundromat when in my first job because I lived in a garage apartment type thing. And the homeowner was like, well, just come on in my house, use my washer and dryer. But he had like a 14-year-old daughter who was always home alone. I was like, I'm not creeping in the back door of your home with my dirty underwear with a student in my youth group, like hanging out. Like, I was like, no, I will go to I lugged it all to the
Well, so
washateria.
lovely people have been like, Jennifer, just come do your laundry. You're fine.
Yeah.
But then like you're there with them
Yeah.
for a good 4 to 5 hours while you do several loads.
Yeah.
And after a while, it gets awkward unless
Yep.
you've got a real big planned activity.
I agree.
And then you're hanging out on their couch.
Well, I'm praying that you
Ugh.
find some deals over Black
We've
Friday.
talked way too long about this, but Friday deal on washer and dryer. Email me.
If you see them, yeah, send
If
them
you
to
see something,
Jennifer.
we need a stackable. We need a
Yeah.
stackable. So, how are you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm doing great. I am still in physical therapy, and I do want to express extreme frustration about physical therapy. Here's what it is. There are some people in there, because everyone's got different things are being rehabbed on. There are some people who get the physical therapy that looks just like neck and shoulder massages. Like it looks like they just spend
Yes.
45 minutes with somebody just like
Right.
really like working on their
It
muscles.
seems, if you will, pleasant.
Yes. And
Like refreshing.
I have the one doing deep squats on a surfboard, like literally just like balancing like a torture device where I have to stay balanced while squatting and then like the step ups and like lifting weights. I'm like, I really am frustrated with my lot in life when it comes to physical therapy because these other people look really relaxed and I am like literally working out.
I feel like physical therapists, probably half of their hours in college have to do with pushing people in pain.
Yeah. And also looking for fun toys to do it. They get so excited. It's like, oh, I'm going to show you a new thing today. I'm like, I don't care about it. Like,
I don't want any more of your toys.
I'm not excited about this. Toy.
None of them qualify as toys. I don't want you to call them that. That's when you would be getting a shot.
Yeah.
And the doctor would be like, it's just like a little mosquito sting.
Bite. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, a mosquito bite. I'm like, maybe on the shores of the Gulf of Mississippi when they're as giant as your face. And I just thought, no, this is not. I get bit by mosquitoes a lot. I live in Mississippi. This is not that.
Yep.
But they like to play with you.
Yep. So he's having fun, with his torture devices, but other people just in the corner just relaxing, enjoying.
You're like, I'm so sorry, Justin. How long do you have to do that?
I'm about to do my 4th week today. So I did 2 a week. And then they're going to reevaluate, and then I'm probably going to go for some more because I'm still limping a little bit. But it's better than the scooter. It's better than the boot.
Is it better than before?
Not yet. And that's what I'm like. Did I just get a new limp? I was like, did I trade my old limp for a new limp? Because I'm still a little bit.
At least the old limp was kind of wearing out. So now you've got a new limp to wear out.
Yes.
I do think it will get better.
I'm praying so.
I think the success rate on those types of things is really high.
I'm praying that.
So as you know, in kid ministry, we've had some changes in the last few months that have been, really my core team have moved to either Dallas or Austin or into other positions because of their stage in life with babies. And so I've invited and welcomed most of our new team members back on the show to be able to get to meet you guys and spend time with you. So today I want to introduce you to the program coordinator. Here we go. I'm the one who literally came up with this title. Maybe it was Lisa. Okay. It is our CityRise Bellaire Campus Program Coordinator of Preschool Ministries. Please welcome Emily Heinzman.
There you go. And I was thinking
I expected confetti to drop.
On the way over, I was thinking Emily Heinzman has a great announcer name. Emily Heinzman.
That is
So
really great.
There's just enough like syllables and like you can draw them out. Like some people don't have that.
It's funny that you say that because when I got married, my mom was like, your name sounds like a princess name now. Like Emily Heinzman. I was like, okay.
What was your maiden name?
Calm down. Manual.
Manual.
And so I went from everyone thinking that I was Hispanic, which really, it comes from Cornwall, England. Really random nerd fact.
Okay.
So it was Emily Manuel, and then I went to Emily Heinzman. So everyone's like, are you German now? And I was like, well, I married in, but they're not German at all. So
Oh, wow. What are they? What's Heinzman?
I have no idea.
Okay. All right.
Actually, I think it's Hispanic too, because my husband was like, it came from Enrique. I don't know. I don't know.
So your husband literally doesn't know his heritage?
No,
Or you
he
don't know his
does.
heritage?
I don't know his heritage.
Emily just can't explain it.
We've gone through this so many times in our 5 years of
Emily's
marriage. He's like,
trying.
Emily, you can't be my spokesperson because you're going to screw it up. Like, he's got big feelings about a lot of things, and I always screw it up.
Okay.
And that's JD.
There's that.
Your
There's JD.
your partner.
Yes,
I
my
love
husband, JD.
husbands who serve.
My spouse.
He serves your spouse.
My spouse. I hate the word partner.
Do you?
In Christian communities specifically, because I'm like, it's because I feel like it's associated with.
It's so
Other
funny.
things, you
I've
know?
taken it back because I talk a lot to parents online, and partner is the most not only gender neutral, but relational neutral word you can find. Because I'm talking to a parent, I'm not assuming they're married. Like I know in the Christian world,
Right.
that's the ideal. But if I'm trying to tell a parent how to, give them encouragement, I don't want to exclude people who aren't married, who are parenting or single. I guess not single doesn't count, but like when I'm talking about their partner. So I get what you're saying, but I have had to take it back a little bit because it is the most flexible word, regardless of gender and relational status.
That's true. But in the context of wanting people to know it's your husband.
It's fair to say
And I'm
husband
really
or spouse.
surprised I said partner.
Yeah.
It's so wild. And I think I was coming from partner in crime,
Yeah.
maybe, rather than, but all of that to say, JD helps out with the kids, which I love. And
well, that's how we started. We started volunteering for the 4th and 5th grade boys and girls. And then we were with the boys and praise and blessing over that group of kids. But
let me say, when I came over and I'm watching and I see Emily leading and volunteering, and I'm just like, this kid because she's young and I'm a little old lady. I was like, this kid is totally called to serve with kids.
Aw, that's
like
so sweet.
she has a
Thank you.
heart. She's so energetic. She's volunteering on a consistent basis. Like she is a rock star. And I just tucked that in my head away. And I believe that God brought that back out when, anyway, we made our decision for her to come on our team.
Churches are a really weird place where we can audition staff members for years. For years. And then by the time it's time to hire them, we're like, we know everything about you and your abilities. You have this job, which is frustrating for our HR director because she's like, no, you have to go through the
You
process.
have to go through a process.
And we're like, you don't understand. We know this person. They are great.
Well,
Like,
I brought
they're
Emily
great.
on exactly one day before Lisa pulled me into a real hiring process of all these steps. And I was, so Emily, tell us what has been your, like, tell us about coming on to the team and what you thought about that and that experience.
Well, how did you even end up here in the first place as a church member? Like, y'all kind of like snuck in and
Where
started
were you
serving.
born exactly? Like, tell us.
I'll tell you my whole life story.
Let's
Well,
just
it all
hear
started.
about your life. Let's start with how you came to know Christ and where you're from, and then move into how you got here.
Yeah, so I was born in Cape Coral, Florida, which is kind of near Fort Myers area, the one that's like always getting affected by hurricanes. So that's where I was born. My dad is a pastor, and so I grew up in the church. And we moved around a lot, ironically, because he was a pastor, just different church plants, and some churches don't work out, and it's exhausting being in ministry in general.
I love it. I'm never tired. I'm never weary.
You never
Church
have
planting.
bags under your
Church
eyes.
planting is a whole different level,
church
isn't
planting's
it?
wild.
Yes. So, we moved around a lot because of that. And I remember specifically moving to Miami, Florida, and he was a pastor there. And it was just a bunch of old people there. And I didn't love going to church. I was not excited about it. But a big part of my testimony was I was in 8th grade and a friend invited me to a youth group. And
A cool church.
Basically. You walk in, all the lights are dim, they've got cool lights, and they have a cool band. Anyways, I walked in and all of these kids that are my age in middle school and high school like have their hands up in praise and seem like so sincere about like worshiping with the Lord. And I was like, whoa, this is not the environment that I see in my church. So I was like, something must be off here. And then on top of that, we were homeschooled for a hot second. And then we started a new school that was like an hour away and had a lot of homework. Anyway, so for 8th grade, I was going through a lot, it felt like. And that's when I really started like sincerely praying. And I feel like taking faith into like my own hands. Like it wasn't just my parents' faith. Like I was accepting Jesus as my savior and the one that I was going to for help. So, So that's when that happened. But then I have this also kind of funny story that I accepted Jesus into my heart as my savior when I was 3 years old because my parents were at a Bible study and they told me not to come out of my room because I was in bed for the night. They said, don't get out of your room. And I'm such a rule follower. I really had to pee. So I peed the bed and I was weeping and I was like, I'm such a terrible person. And my mom came in and she was like, it's okay. And then we had a whole like come to Jesus moment, ironically, for me peeing the bed.
Wow.
So that's when I accepted Jesus into my heart, quote unquote.
I've never heard that
Wow.
ever.
But then your faith
Don't
became
put that
real
in.
to you. As
Yes.
I've
it
heard
became real.
people come to Christ in so many different ways. Right. Even a weightlifting
first.
team that came to their
but not
school.
that way. That's
But
for
never
sure.
I wet the bed, and now I'm a believer.
To come to Jesus. I think like I was 3 years old. I don't think I fabricated that memory. Maybe I need to talk to my mom about it. But then I went on to college and I was like, okay, this is like, I'm going to college and mom's not making me go to church. Dad's not making me go to church. And so I really, really wanted to find a good church community. And I did. And I'm so blessed that I found a good youth group, not youth group because you're not youth. Yes, you are. But college ministry. Thank you. And I love those girls with all my heart. They really developed me. That's where I found a love for theology. Still learning about that. And yeah, so should I move into
Well, I like
what's
that.
happening
What I
here?
like about that story, I do want to affirm, is that people there are people who worship with reverence and there are people who worship with expression. And I don't think either is wrong. But if you are the opposite of the faith community you're in, it can be very limiting and discouraging. So in the same way you came alive when you moved out of a reverent into a more expressive, expression of faith, I think the same can be said of someone who prefers to worship with like reverence and like solemnity and all that stuff. Yeah. So like finding just the place that you fit was the trigger you needed to figure out what it means to be a Christian, which is really, really encouraging. What college did you go to?
Florida Southwestern State College.
Wow, that's a lot of words.
Yes.
That's a lot of words.
So it was a state college. It was really teeny, but then all of my friends were part of the the bigger university college.
Because they're all in the same town.
Yes. So I did some commuting. And then I got engaged in the middle of my college career. And then we moved to Houston, Texas.
For work, I'm assuming.
For JD's work.
Okay.
And then I was en route to be a physical therapy assistant. And then COVID happened.
We were just talking about physical therapists.
Were you really?
Well, Justin
you wanted to be one?
I'm in physical therapy.
Oh,
right
yes.
He's got some hot sports opinions.
Yes,
I've got some frustrations, but no need to rehash them now.
Yeah, they can be tough. But I thought that it would be a really good career fit for me. But then COVID happened and you had to do like a really intense interview in person process to be in the physical therapy program. And that obviously couldn't happen because the world was shutting down. And so I took that as my opportunity to like figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And then it turned out that I went to college and found an online degree in human development. Ask me what that means. I don't know. It was a lot of psychology classes. But then ACV opened up and my mom is a preschool director. And I was saying that I wanted experience with children because I was trying to be a nanny. And they said that ACV was hiring teachers. And I was like, great, I love preschool. I love 3-year-olds. And so I went on and I worked at ACV for a year. And that was super fun, like just building community within the church and getting to know a lot of other moms. And I'm like, when I have kids, this is going to be so fun to come back here. And so, then I worked at ACV and I went and taught because I was getting my degree, my teaching degree. And I was like, the goal was always to teach elementary. So then I taught first grade for a year and then got pregnant and had my daughter. And then I was like, I need a calmer part-time job because really my focus is my daughter. And so I wanted to
cutest. She is adorable.
She's got big chubby cheeks.
And she just smiles. She's got these little cheeks and she just smiles. She's so happy. She's a happy kid.
She is. She's cutie.
So you were volunteering with the church during that time. And then and somewhere in the spring, I guess, maybe it was the spring or summer you came back. You hadn't even come back from having
maternity.
Riley. Yeah. And so is it okay to say her name?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh my goodness.
Some people were weird about that. So you came back, you actually came back to meet me at the beginning and we just visited and I could see so much of your heart in volunteering. So we asked her to come in and be the program coordinator at CityRise Bellaire.
A job that had just been created.
You're
the first.
And you were like, Emily, we
coordinator.
don't really know what this job means, but here you go. You can figure it out. And I'm like, great.
Forge your own path.
Yeah.
You get to work with me to figure this out.
Yep.
And I mean, incredible job. Like she leads the little kid rally, which we really haven't had in the past. We've had kid rally, but this is different. She comes in and leads our little kid rally for our preschoolers and then comes back and teaches them the lessons every week. And they all, oh my goodness, they love Miss Emily. They all love Miss Emily. And so I get stopped by parents and they're like, our children love Miss Emily.
And you got the brand new building. Like you're really living it up over there.
Fun.
I will say the brand new building is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's not all filled with junk because for an ADHD person, junk just like keeps your mind like flying around.
Scrambled.
So to have it all clean slate is just pretty serene, I will say.
It's super, super fun.
So tell us what's it been like for you? Like have you enjoyed it?
How have you forged your own path? What have you found to
What are some things you're learning?
Great question. What are some things that I'm learning? I really love children's ministry. They're so much fun. I love just seeing them get so excited. Recently I got like Jesus Loves You bracelets and if they brought their Bible, then they get a Jesus Love You bracelet. And just to see their excitement about like, Miss Emily, I brought my Bible today. I'm like, yay. And then I'll open it up and I'll show them what verse or what story we're reading today. And it's just so fun to see them get so excited. So, yeah, Jennifer told me that she really wanted to have a kid rally as a part of that space. And I was like, great. What does kid rally mean?
What is this kid rally?
So basically, I'm just going up in front of the kids during Sunday, and I introduce the story. We talk about how it relates to Jesus, and we listen to some music videos, and then I kind of just reiterate the story after we watch a video. Because usually watching the video can do a better job of explaining it than I can, and it holds their attention a little bit longer. But then I reiterate it, and it's just so much fun. I see that they're really excited, and they're retaining everything, and they're going and they're telling their parents like what they learned for the day. And so I've had a couple parents come up to me and tell me like, this is so great. We've seen such a change. Like the workers are coming up to us and greeting us, and like we know what our kids are learning at Sunday. And I feel like that's my main goal for this job is for parent involvement with the church. Because, maybe it feels like some parents are intimidated by talking to their littles about, the Bible stories. Maybe not, but they're just as eager to learn than as a middle schooler, I feel like. Maybe not a middle schooler, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
So Emily works really hard to also come up with like a meaningful craft every week. So this week was Jacob and Esau.
It was disgusting.
And she was so grossed out by the craft because she had the hairy arm. So all of them were like gluing hair.
Yeah, we got like a whole like 5-foot yard of like red hair. Like it was disgusting. So you had to cut it up, obviously, to stick it onto the craft.
Wow.
Emily could barely,
everywhere.
she was so grossed out. But all these little preschoolers come out rubbing their little hair on their paper.
They love to touch and all the sensory. And I'm like, I know it's going to be a hit, but it's going to be
They will
gross for
always
me.
remember Esau and the fake hair, like that lesson.
Yes.
It was so funny, but they were upset. They were just rubbing.
Yeah.
Emily's like, okay, that's it. This is disgusting.
But it was fun because now they know the differences between Esau. Esau was hairy and Jacob was smooth. It was fun. It was so much fun.
It was really fun. So it's been a really good blessing. And we're continuing to form and lead our team. And it's a really sweet team.
It's a privilege for you to be in the space where you don't have to answer really any hard questions yet. Like you understand theology and enjoy it. So I don't know if you're like sad about that. Like, do you wish you could go deeper, or are you okay just doing the
I feel like
basics?
I found my love for teaching the littles the Bible stories while I was teaching preschool, because I would open up whatever the kids' Bible is, the Adventure Bible, and I would read the story to them, but then I would expound on it, and I'd be like, what questions do you guys have? Because they wanted to know. And half of the times it would lead into, oh, your shoes look just like Jesus's, because I had Birkenstocks on that day. So it's a fun, entertaining mix talking to 3-year-olds about Jesus. But I feel like it's super fun bringing kind of complex things. Like a kid asked me about the Holy Spirit. I have no idea how that came into. Maybe I was talking about, the fire, them being in the upper room. I don't know. But they were talking about the Holy Spirit. I'm like, how the heck do you explain the Holy Spirit to a 3-year-old? And so it's a fun challenge for me, because you have to like be pretty set in your faith to know all of these things in order to explain it to a 3-year-old. So I found that super fun. That's the fun part to me.
My son the other day
I love that.
over dinner, he's first grader, and he says, I don't understand go on forever. I was like, what do you mean? He's like we're going to go on forever. I guess you heard it at church or whatever. It's like, are we going to be here? Are we going to be somewhere else? And I'm like, gosh, this is getting tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really entering into the existential insanity of trying to explain the Bible.
Right.
And even as a pastor, it's overwhelming for me. So this idea of partnering with parents, I want to affirm that. Yes. And
yes.
Because even as a pastor, there's questions my kids are asking that I do know like what the answer is, but like trying to convey it in a way that makes sense, but also isn't trite. It's just like, gosh, this is really, I wish I could go back to like the easy questions, but man, they get hard and articulating them can be scary, I think. And so this idea of y'all partnering with parents, I do want to like, please keep doing that. Like that's.
But do you
huge.
think about your own childhood and like, did you ask those questions, and like, how did your parents? Because
Sure,
there's a
Justin
part
did.
of me that's like, I don't know that I remember all of like, sometimes it's not as serious, I feel like, because they're not going to remember. But at the same time,
I remember laying in bed, and my parent, I didn't have TV. We didn't have anything to keep you kind of no night light. It would just be dark, and I'm there. And I remember trying to understand eternity. Yeah. And it was really stressful.
Well, that's what Bear was trying to do. That's what my son was trying to do.
Right. Bear was trying to understand eternity. That was so stressful for me as a child to know that it would never end. Like it was something about it. It was just like, that's so long. Yeah. Like, I don't think, and then it's so funny because it was just like a real stressor for me, the eternity thing. Yeah. I mean, you can be happy, but really forever, it never ends. It never ends. And I remember anxiety from that. And then someone was like, why wouldn't you want to live forever? People want to live on earth as long as they can. Why wouldn't you want to live with Jesus? I mean, they made a picture that helped me.
Yeah. My biggest thing, the only memory I have of something like that is I remember a specific, I don't remember what my mom said, but I remember telling her, like, I'm scared to die. Like, I don't want to die. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a real big fear of mine. And so that's the biggest question I remember. I don't remember how she handled it. I'm sure it was very much like, well, you get to live with Jesus forever, whatever. But then when my dad died, my kids like had to start talking about death way early. And I was like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, I know there's hope in Christ. Like, I know the hope is eternal. But like, still this idea talking about the sadness of death and the permanence of it physically, like it really is a hard thing. And I was frustrated having to deal with it so early with them. I was really hoping that like they'd be 14 or 15 before we're talking about a grandma or grandpa dying. But my dad liked flying in stupid planes. And it didn't work out that way for us.
Kind of irritated.
So I am kind of irritated with him about it. Cause I'm like, I was like, I got to talk about like these really big issues really early, and it's hard. Even as a pastor, it's overwhelming. And so I want to, like I said, encourage y'all to continue to keep parents on your hearts and minds as far as like y'all have an hour with these kids, but we're getting these questions 24/7.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. It's true. It's a lot of the questions,
and I feel like that's good. Like, it means that there's a deeper thought going on, and they're going to continue asking these questions possibly. And I think it's good and challenge. Like, I think it's a good challenge for the parents. I know that's super hard, and all of my, not that I've been a parent for so
long. But you can tell that you have a real passion for it, which is really exciting, especially, in my shoes. I do remember, I will say this. I remember they were talking about salvation. They would talk about coming to know Christ, and regularly our pastor would say, at some point, you're going to find yourself lost. You're going to realize that you're lost. Yeah. And it was really unnerving for me to know at some point I was going to not know where I was. I was like, you could be in a field one day and realize you're lost. Yeah. And I was like,
so you were associating with like, I'm going to be without my mom, lost in a grocery
I'm definitely going to be separated.
Yeah.
I'll be somewhere very familiar, and I will not know where I am.
You weren't looking at it like
metaphorically. And I think I even came up to the front. I go, I don't want to be lost.
Yeah. And he's probably like, man, my sermon really reached this little kid.
Let's lead you to the Lord. So, Emily, thank you so much for coming and visiting with us today. Yeah. We usually end, I don't even think let me just say, Emily's done an amazing job. She had no prep questions. We've done about 165 interviews, and I think maybe 12 people have had no prep questions, and you're one of them. So thank you.
She did it.
She did it. And then at this point in the blah, 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 we do a question. A question of the day. Justin's looking at me like, no, well, I know you don't have a question.
No. I feel bad because last week I asked a terrible question, and I kind of like steamrolled you and like asked, and then looking back, it's like, I asked a dumb question. So like, I'm not asking questions anymore.
Well, was it?
It was like, what food could you eat for the rest of your life? And none of us had anything. It was just all like such an easy question.
Oh, that sounds like something I would ask, or that I would have asked.
Yeah.
Diet Coke is my answer.
No. Amen. High five on that. Yeah. Okay. They have these really cute Diet Coke t-shirts that are like floral.
That said, I need a Diet Coke.
We have to get.
I know. I literally sent one to my mom.
I think our whole kid team drinks Diet Coke.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think they do.
That's great.
Okay. Well, in the realm of kids, now that we're talking about growing up, and let's see. Why don't we talk about?
You really don't have one. You're really
don't have
really
one.
making it up. What was the one that you were going to do last week that I steamrolled over?
I don't remember.
You said I came ready with one, and you just asked one over me, and so I thought you had one.
I like how when you say I like how when you say it to me, you get this like I'm over like
You got some sass.
I do have sass. I don't know how much sway is within my with my sass. First childhood crush. Have we done that?
Oh goodness.
Celebrity or like a real human?
Let's do. You can do either.
I think celebrity probably would make the most sense, right? Or no, I don't know.
Sure, maybe.
Go whatever your heart leads you to tell. So will you go first?
Okay, let me say this.
She
This
got
is
in
not
real
my
close to
first.
say that.
She did.
This
Let
wasn't
me
my
say
first
that.
crush,
So lean
not
in.
my literal first crush, but this was my most significant early fourth grade crush. And I was head over heels in love with this redheaded boy named Rocky Boone.
Wow, what a
Rocky
name.
Boone. Isn't that a cool name?
Boone
Cool
or
name.
Moon?
Boone.
Boone.
And his parents had a beautiful home. They had a trash, what's it called? Compactor,
Oh, yeah.
which I thought was
Mhm.
really
That
cool.
really drawed you to him.
And
His
they
trash
had that where you throw the food in the bottom of the sink. They had a
Garbage disposal?
They had a garbage disposal.
Wow.
This was significant for the 80s.
Yeah.
And he was tall and he was funny. Man, and I knew early I needed someone that could make me laugh.
Wow.
And that someone who was smart and could make me laugh and love Jesus. And those were the three things.
So
Yeah.
you were clearly at his house.
I was,
Yeah. How did you know he
What-
had
what
these
were you
things?
doing?
we
at his
were at the
house.
same elementary school.
Did he
and
brag about
he
his
would
trash
have a party.
compactor?
It was right at the time
That's what I'm thinking.
where they started throwing boy-girl parties. And we came over and oh my goodness. But everyone in my class was in love with Rocky Boone.
Uh-oh.
And I
Competition.
started, my first leadership position was to be in charge of the club of the girls who were in love with Rocky Boone.
Wow.
And one time he looks at me and he goes, I would like you, but you're not cool enough. You're not cool enough.
Wow. How crushing.
And I was like, oh, well, that is crushing.
Yeah.
And then he started coming over to my house and we were playing softball out in the yard and he decided that he liked me.
Oh, there you go.
And he liked me for, I believe, 8 minutes.
Ooh,
And it was a pretty big 8
record.
minutes. And then he
Yeah.
started like my sister.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He's like, sorry.
I was here for you, and then
I was here for
we got
you.
down here.
Older or younger sister?
My younger sister, she was a
Oh.
year younger, Julie,
Okay.
who's been on the
she
show.
has been on the show.
She's amazing. And she's like beautiful, confident. She's like, I was the loud, crazy one. And she was like, but anyway, all of that to say, Rocky Boone.
Wow.
You go, Justin.
I will go the celebrity route because I don't really remember much about like having a super. I mean, there was a couple of girls in my 5th grade year that like were really good dancers and they did a talent show and they did this really cool like dance routine and like obviously like they looked great while they were doing it. Like I thought that was cool. But like celebrity wise, Topanga from Boy Meets World was a real
Topanga.
moment for probably a lot of guys my age. She was real pretty and real cool. You know,
She was
like
really cool.
She was really cool. So, and we kind of grew up with like, they were about the same age as us. Like, you know, that show started when those kids were like 9 or 10 years old. And so
Right.
I was around the same age. We kind of grew up with them. So, celebrity wise, definitely Topanga was like probably the first girl I remember thinking like, wow, she's really awesome.
Yeah. I don't think you were alone.
I don't think I was.
All right, Emily,
funny.
first crush.
I'll go the celebrity route too, because immediately it's Jeremy Sumter from the Peter Pan, the 2003 version. Have you seen it?
No.
I don't
Okay,
think
you
so.
need to, because
Wow.
it's amazing.
You need
Wow.
It's
to.
like my childhood, and I fell.
How
in
many
love with
times
this
have you seen that
boy.
movie?
We don't want to talk about it. Maybe like 13. What's funny is I've been trying to get JD to watch it with me, and he's like, no, absolutely not. And
Oh.
then one day we went to a wine tasting, and I was like, today's the day, and
You convinced him.
convinced him. Well, he was working, and I was watching it, and I was quoting every single word on that movie, and he's like, wow, you need help. I'm like,
Wow.
okay.
I like how you say 2003 is your
You need
childhood.
help.
That's wild to me.
Yes.
Because of how
I don't
young
know
she
how
is.
old I was.
I was a junior, sophomore.
Yeah.
I was born in 1999.
Cute.
25 years old.
99.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
That's not that young.
It
That's-
feels young to me.
Well, it's funny because then I see people like Riley's teachers were born in 2000, 2001. And
Oh.
the 1 year difference of like 2000, I'm like, whoa, you guys are like 21.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty
yeah.
crazy.
I remember Hook. Hook came out with
Yes.
Robin Williams.
Who'd you have a crush on that?
No one.
It's just, we're Peter Pan.
No
We're
one.
connected.
Robin Williams.
And then I do remember. So it came out in 2003.
Yes.
Was there another?
It's a
movie?
live action
What's
one.
Finding Neverland? What is that?
Yeah, is that the one with the Lost Boys song that was so
No, that's the
popular?
Finding Neverland's the one with Johnny Depp. And that's the story about J.M. Barrie creating the story. Like he's the author of Peter Pan.
Okay.
and he created it.
So 2003, it wouldn't have been. There was another Peter Pan movie that came out around 2000.
I don't
It
know.
was-
You're
it
really
was-
digging into this Peter Pan movie.
I know,
history
right?
here.
It was 2017. Like it was
So you think there's a more-
recently?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a Disney one that was
Okay.
just, I
a
don't-
live action Disney?
Yeah,
one?
I boycott all Peter Pan unless it's the 2003
Wow.
version. Not
Okay,
really.
so I'm so curious now. Obviously,
You
you
gotta
have
watch
to
it.
see
look
it.
this up.
It's so
You gotta watch
good.
it.
And then
Man,
when you
Emily-
see Jeremy Sumter on the screen, you'll be
Jeremy
Oh, no.
Sumter.
that's Emily's girl.
Well, no,
boy.
that's. Oh,
You'll understand.
All right.
thank you so much for being with us today, Justin.
Yes, if you like the show, please like it on YouTube or share it wherever you're watching or listening. And you can always email us at podcast@cityrise.org if you have people you want us to talk to. And if you want to learn more about our kids ministry, cityrise.org/kids. If you want to learn more about ACV, cityrise.org/ACV. That's our preschool. Enrollment is open at the Bellaire campus for the next semester.
Amen.
Like, you can
Yes.
always jump on that if you have kids. I think it's 1 to 3, 1 to 4. It's a little bit smaller group, but
Right, it is going to be 1 to 4
okay, there you
this
go.
coming fall,
So
and
you
we
can
do.
find out information at cityrise.org/ACV if you've got friends that need great childcare inside the loop, like really
Yes.
incredible.
Fantastic.
Whether at Westview or at Bellaire, really
teaching
great.
about God and how God loves them,
Preparing
and
them for school as well.
Exactly. Well, real quick, Justin, I forgot to ask you: are you still trying stand up?
Well, I haven't been able to stand up for a long time.
Oh, look
So
at that!
But
now that I can, I don't know, man. The vibe in a stand-up is so like not Jesus-y. It feels really like fish out of water, uncomfortable to be around
Gotcha.
the people that are doing it. So I don't know if I'm cut out for it.
Well, there you go.
I wish I could just go to churches. I wish I could just jump
You
right
should be-
into.
you
but
should
maybe
be-
there's Christians that are looking for that.
I know.
You need to
You
speak
gotta
at
be the
women's
bold one.
events.
But you gotta learn in the bar. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people are learning how to do stand up in the
True,
really
true.
dark parts of our
Melissa
society.
Radke did a great job.
Oh yeah, I bet.
She was
She was a
wonderful.
hoot.
She was a hoot and a half. And
Yes.
sometimes you don't even need the half.
Well, if you
Yeah.
want to hire a Christian comedian that's never actually done it, please contact me. And I'd love to experiment on
For our
your
next
crowd.
women's event,
So funny.
we've got Justin.
Justin.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your listening or viewing with us. And we hope you've had an almost amazing time on the Almost Amazing podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Almost Amazing podcast from the CityRise Network based in Houston, Texas. CityRise is a partnership of church campuses, nonprofits, and missionaries devoted to lifting our city and the world by generously giving the gospel of Jesus Christ. For more information or to find a church campus close to you in the Houston area, visit cityrise.org.